I always roll my eyes when I see stuff like that. You know, oh, record highs. Yeah, some stocks. I know a lot more that a lot of people have lost a lot of money and they're not recovering so great, especially a lot of the high earning ETFs. Let's look at MSTY. I'm going to use my portfolio as an example to show you guys. One of the hardest things you can do is knowing when to sell a stock, because a lot of us have been there, right? We see a stock dropping rapidly, we sell it because we don't want to lose any more money, and then that was the low and it recovers, and then we feel stupid. But you know what's dumber than that? Holding on to a stock and it just dying, like what happened with MRNY. But first I'm going to show you MSTY, because this is a personal example. I had a lot of shares in MSTY. You can see it's been going down, right? Let me show you my side of things. I didn't trust the amount it was selling, how much it was going down. So I looked at it and I said, okay, let me sell it. And you can see I sold 892 shares for $19.32. And then it was bouncing around crazy. And I'm like, I still don't trust it. I'm going to risk it. I'm going to sell more. If it goes up, I would rather that than it plummet down. But then I gave it a couple days. Look, 5 days later, it was not recovering well. So I sold it again for $17.80. Then I checked back again. 2 days later, it continued to go down. So I sold again at $16.16. And remember, I was buying these shares back in 2024 when they were like $30 a share. Do I feel bad doing that? No, because they were paying so well. It was exceptional in 2024. And you guys can see the market started to recover. So I bought one share to test it out. And then it started screwing up again. So I canceled all the other buys that I originally was going to buy back. Looking at this month, I'm happy I sold when I did, because it just keeps dropping. And I had a friend say, well, you're still making $1 a share. I said, what's the point of holding on if you're losing $2 a share? If I'm making $1,000 a month, but I'm losing $2,000 of my initial investment, why would I hold on to it? It's losing me double the money it's making me. Can it recover? Yes, but I would rather buy back when it's closer to what I sold it for than buy it back too soon. And then it just dips. Because you guys can see, even if it tries to recover, it just dips. And we remember what happened with MRNY. For those of you who are new to my channel and you didn't see what happened with MRNY, I'll show you. A lot of you already know, a lot of you do invest with a lot of these ETFs and already sold. But this is just going back a year. Keep in mind, this stock isn't even 5 years old, and when it came out, it did come out at $20. By 2024, it was down to $8.62. And yeah, it's still paying okay dividends for the price you're buying it for, but what's the point if it continues to lose $1 every single month and continue going down? And that's how a lot of stocks are right now, and a lot of ETFs. Now, MRNY and MSTY are both ETFs. But for them to claim record highs, it depends on the company. It really does. Let's look at Moderna, which MRNY is based off of. They got so much bad publicity, I don't know if they're will ever fully recover. I'm not going to go back 5 years. I'm just going to go back a year. Does this look like it's recovering to you? That doesn't look like a recovery to me. This is a company you used to buy for $400. And for those of you that don't believe me, let me find it for you. Here we go. See? You see that amazing recovery? In 2021, you see that? I'm not going to say why this stock jumped up. You guys can do the research. I don't want this video flagged because I know how that stuff goes. But look how quickly we can fall. A lot of people bought this stock, say I'm going to get rich. It's already up to $400. I hope you didn't hold on to it, because look how quickly the money depleted. And they had some false hope, right? We see it trying to recover a couple times. But no. The smartest thing people could have done when it dropped from $400 was to probably sell it at $300. But a lot of us don't want to do that. Most of us, if you're like me, want to buy a stock one time and let it sit and make us money. But sometimes you have to be a little more active. You need to check your stocks at least, and your ETFs at least once a month, because you don't want this to happen to you. Especially, think of the people that had 1,000 shares. Now, most of us aren't that rich, but I'll show you on a calculator. Now, if you bought 1,000 shares for $400, you would have put $400,000 into that stock, right? But if your value per share drops from $400,000 to just $200,000, you lost $200,000. Now, I don't know about you, but I think if I lost $200,000, which I have done in the past, so don't feel guilty if you've ever been stupid like that. Me too, baby. That's why I tell people diversify so they don't make mistakes like I've done. Imagine losing $200,000 because you were hopeful about a stock you shouldn't have been hopeful about. You should have been diversifying your portfolio. This can happen to people. That's the only reason I'm making this video. It is better to sell at a loss and say, well, that was the low, it recovered, than wait it out and lose way more money than if you had just sold and wrote the whole thing off. As always, have a great day and happy investing.